He's asking if you're the chemist.
Nick is Not Green is a commentary channel that is of the same vein as like a Hassan Nabi, I would say, which I wouldn't call good company to be around with or to be associated with. But due to details later in the video, it'll probably show you that Nick is Not Green isn't exactly above Hassan or his level of research for that matter.
That's not what happened.
Then what happened?
I don't even know what happened, but I know that's not what happened.
So here I have Nick is Not Green's apology, which was posted on his YouTube community tab, and we'll be reading it right here. So he says, "Hi everyone, there have been a lot of people still asking me about where I stand on the SuperMega situation after I deleted my initial statement. I followed the video up at the intro of the video from 3 weeks ago, but a lot of people didn't see it, and I want to further clarify how I feel after taking some time to reflect on it. I initially responded with anger when concerns were raised about my coverage of the story, because I believed that these criticisms were coming in bad faith from audiences of creators that have harassed me in the past. After reading messages from people in my community who have legitimate and valid concerns about my stance on the situation, I now realize that there are a lot of real criticisms about the videos I made that are sincere and point out where I seriously mishandled my coverage and reaction to the story. My responses minimized and discredited a lot of my viewers' concerns, and I was immature." Hey, chill! I'm allergic to bullshit. Now, if you don't know how Nick is Not Green initially reacted, well, here's his post. "You guys should shut the f up and think about why none of their friends / peers stand up for them or back them up on any of this. It's embarrassing. Go get a job and stop being obsessed losers. If your favorite content creator wants to be uncancelled, they should make a video and stop whining about their own actions catching up to them."
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Truly a post made by someone who has seen legitimate criticism and wants to change. In reality, it's probably that he saw his fans didn't like it and were like, "Oh snap, I need to backpedal now." Because Nick is Not Green is actually losing subscribers as we speak. As you can see, Nick is Not Green is losing thousands of subscribers. And this is on his second channel, I think, and is still losing thousands on his main channel. So I don't think his criticisms were ever legitimate to him. I think that he just saw that he was starting to bleed subscribers and realized he needed to backpedal immediately. We can keep reading here. Given the seriousness of these topics, I should have taken much more care with the titles, the content, and even the way I edited those videos. I regret the eagerness I had to insult Matt and Ryan in the story in ways that were unnecessary and careless, and for including details about them that were unrelated to Lex's assault. Regardless of whether or not these details were talked about in Lex's videos, I should have been much more careful about the way I presented them, and I am sorry for that. Now, if you want to know what this unrelated topic was, it was about one of their friends committing suicide.
A big part about this video that Matt and Ryan were very upset about is the comments that Layden made about Daniel and his suicide and the way that Matt and Ryan handle it. Of course, I see how Matt and Ryan would respond to this in a negative way if it's not true, but in the same way, Matt brings up these details about his personal relationship that were brought up in this situation, and it's another thing that he was pretty upset about in terms of people dragging in other people into his life that have nothing to do with this. And although I do think that there were a lot of instances that were unnecessary to bring up about you, in the same way, your life is so connected. I mean, you say it yourself that SuperMega is your magnum opus. It is a part of you. Your personal life is a part of this channel.
Is Nick is Not Green genuinely expecting me and anyone else to believe that any YouTuber who shares even one part of their private life on camera is now subject to endless violations of their privacy and people casting judgment? You may have noticed by now, we've so far neglected the most egregious example. Daniel Kyer is a name that should have never come up in this drama. As Matt and Ryan's best friend, it's obviously extremely traumatizing to them that the birth of SuperMega came just after that best friend took his own life. Even presuming assuming Matt and Ryan had made jokes about his passing, they're the only ones involved in this that actually knew him. It's no one's place to judge the appropriate way to respond to such an event. People often cope using dark humor, and it's not surprising part of that complicated reaction can include anger. To weaponize that in pursuit of a petty vendetta is nothing short of sociopathic. Matt and Ryan were forced to acknowledge this deeply traumatic loss as a part of a smear campaign. I'm going to let them speak on Daniel for themselves.
That experience affected me and Ryan more than anything has ever affected us in our lives, and it's something that we're still recovering from. And if you've dealt with suicide, you know that grief is different for each person, and you know that there are a lot of complex and confusing emotions that come with the grief regarding suicide.
Recently on a live stream, it was mentioned that I would regularly bring up Daniel's suicide in a disrespectful and callous manner. Before I go further, I would like to go into who Daniel was to me, so those who don't know don't lack context.
Hear how I could have done better from people who were rightfully concerned. I wrongfully gave more value to the opinions of those who agreed with me over those who were holding me accountable for valid reason, and that is something I deeply regret. Let me tell you something right now. Everybody on YouTube does that. This sentence right here describes people who can't take criticism. It describes YouTube. It's something that's done very often, but since it's not, allegations, people don't care. Now they're trying to use the same YouTube drama tactics with serious allegations and realizing it's not as smart as you think, because this is something that has repercussions, not just some silly internet drama. Something that just, you just slap on there, make fun of somebody, get a chuckle and a hoo-ha. I regret the way I approached reporting on such a serious topic, and I apologize to any victims of sexual assault that I've disappointed. I also want to apologize to those who support me and watch my content for how this has been handled. This experience has opened my eyes to what my priorities are as a content creator, and I am dedicated to thinking more deeply about how I use my platform and the way I communicate with I have a lot of growth that needs to be done as a content creator and person. Lastly, I want to apologize for how this has affected those who are not involved at all in this situation, but have associated with me and made content with me. I feel awful that my actions have caused people to stop supporting people who have absolutely nothing to do with the situation, solely because they are friends or loved ones. Please, don't let how I handle the situation reflect those who are in my personal.
Thing that he was pretty upset about in terms of people dragging in other people into his life that have nothing to do with this. And although I do think that there were a lot of instances that were unnecessary to bring up about you, in the same way, your life is so connected. I mean, you say it yourself that SuperMega is your magnum opus. It is a part of you. Your personal life is a part of this channel.
Personal. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because throughout this entire drama, throughout this entire situation, we haven't gotten a call out from Hassan. We haven't gotten a call out from what's his name? What's his stupid face? But these are calls we haven't gotten, and you'll never see it. You will never get this call out. But this whole cancellation thing isn't normal for NickIsNotGreen. He's made attempts to cancel guys like Sneeko, who before didn't have real legitimate reasons. But nowadays, obviously, since him being banned, he's ramped it up. But when Nick made this video, I wouldn't say Sneeko did anything legitimately cancelable, something that legitimately should have got him banned. But of course, NickIsNotGreen didn't care. He just wanted to push his narrative. He also made attempts to cancel guys like IShowSpeed.
Hand in a response to somebody who posted about this story in my Twitter replies. Overall, he seems like a bad dude. I'm sorry. Sometimes that's the conclusion. This is a bad person.
Yes, it is a part of you. Your personal life is a part of this channel.
Is NickIsNotGreen genuinely expecting me and anyone else to believe that any YouTuber who shares even one part of their private life on camera is now subject to endless violations of their privacy and people casting judgment? Imagine if he had said this about an OnlyFans girl, okay? Imagine how his audience would take this.
Sorry. Sometimes that's the conclusion. This is a bad person.
Maybe it's about time that we finally got to Nick is Not Green, because his cancellation has been